Thank you for joining us for 3Bs on the Law podcast, hosted by Trisha Barita, Camille Canali, and Susan Dawson. Disclaimer, this podcast is for entertainment and informational purposes only, not meant to provide legal advice, and does not create an attorney-client relationship. Also remember, laws change or they differ by jurisdiction, so this is not a substitute for seeking legal counsel in your jurisdiction on the current law applicable to you. Hi, welcome to 3Bs on the Law. My name is Trisha Barita, and I'm the Texas B, and I'm so excited about our guest today. It's Hillary Lentini of Lentini Design and Marketing, Inc. We're going to be talking to her a little bit about branding and marketing, and of course, things have changed so much, and I'm excited to hear about her thoughts on it, how she's guided, many business owners and her clients and different industries through this area. So let me tell you a little bit about Hillary. She's over 20 years of distinguished experience in the advertising and creative services industry. She's been a friend of mine for quite a while. We've been networking, even though I'm in Texas, she's in LA. We have had the opportunity to meet, but we've known each other for a little while. And she has some great ideas, not only like how to build your team within, but also branding and marketing ideas that make it really unique. She's also won quite a few different awards. If you go visit her website, actually, I love this one, Hillary, that you were up in the Staples Center and got an award, which is pretty fun. Great picture there.
That's really cool.
Yeah, super cool. She was honored as Comerica Bank's Los Angeles Lakers Woman of Entrepreneurship Award. Mm-hmm. She's completed the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. She was in 2015 Graphic Design USA's one of the people to watch, as well as a lot of other fancy gigs. So we're lucky to have her on here. And thank you so much, Hillary. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about your business.
Thank you, Trisha and Camille and Susan, the 3Bs. Pleasure to be here. So Lentini Design and Marketing, or LDM as we call it, and our clients call us. We're a branding and marketing firm based in LA, although we have clients across the US. And we do not specialize in any particular sector, although from the beginning of the founding of my firm, we've been in the educational sector, the construction sector, transportation sector. But then we have a lot of, so that's like B2G, right? Business to government. We also have several B2B clients. And I did the math the other day because I'm currently redesigning our own website. And we've had over 500 clients so far. They're not all active at one time, thank heavens. But in the B2B sector, we have attorneys and law firm clients and insurance clients, a lot of business consultant clients. And the one thing that we have always striven to do as LDM is not have a particular look, like not have the Lentini design look. So what we do is when we're branding our clients or picking up with existing branding that they need refreshed, is we crafted around them and their unique voice, which is the key to branding of any kind anyway. That's how you get to your special point of difference. But when it's your own brand, you maybe can't see that. So we always come in as their fresh eyes. And then we also take that over into all their messaging on any channel that they need to reach the clients that they're hoping to reach. So that's us in a nutshell.
I love that.
That's really cool. You said both B2B and B2G.
Yes.
So do you do a lot of business to government marketing?
We do. And that was inadvertent in a way, but courtesy of NAWBO, National Association of Women Business Owners. Your listeners probably already know that acronym. Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! I connected to some primes, and when you're contracting in the government sector, there's the prime contractor, and it's contracting as in there's a contract of services, not contracting as in building things, although we have clients in that sector too. But we started getting in as sub consultants and to use contracting lingo, and so we would come in for graphic design consulting, outreach consulting, and messaging, and the more that we did that, the better at that. That working in the contracting sector is very different. The B2G sector, it's city government, county. We've had county clients. It's very different than working with clients directly. Not in a bad way. It's just different. And once you understand how to leverage that, The nicer it is because we have bigger projects to work on and they're long term. So you're billing for 3 years on a contract versus a one-off project. So it's that longevity and really being able to work with that client for a good long time to really build with them and for them. And when it's government sector too, I mean, we see our work. We've designed something for Metro here in Los Angeles, which is our huge transportation system. We'll see our work out in public, and that's just fun. We know we're making an impact. We're working with them on their growing a greener workforce and all around resilience and marketing that program so that the general public knows that they can get lead training and resilience training and how to make LA greener. And that's a whole new workforce piece too. That's a growing sector for a lot of companies to get into. So it's just nice seeing that firsthand our impact there. So that's why I really like B2G, business to government also.
That's cool. How much is B2G versus B2B affected by changing in like the political and social climates?
B2B obviously, I think, was hit harder. And our phones, for instance, for our B2B clients, like they stopped calling us in March. And so early on, I retooled and streamlined and cut back on some of our budgets here and focused on us and our digital presence. And a lot of our clients were helping with their digital presence now more than ever. That's all they have. Versus B2G, our government sector, quasi-government sector clients still had budget and they had money. So they were kind of keeping on with what they had going on the one hand. But then to talk about Metro again, well, their ridership dropped by like 90% initially. So we saw them readjusting and reallocating their budgets, but our contracts were still moving along, thank heavens. So I think for a lot of smaller businesses who have some of those smaller ongoing contracts, I'm hoping, I didn't, survey all of them, but that they kept working, but then some government sector pieces have hugely been impacted.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you.
No, I just said obviously. No, you were right.
Is the social media messaging changing because of COVID? And how do you advise clients to move forward with their message with just everything that's going on? There's so much happening right now.
Right, exactly. And the first thing that I'll recommend to clients, yes, the messaging has changed. In some cases, it hasn't, and that's where I think there's an issue. So for our clients, when the first thing that we did when we were creating, we already had social media strategies that we had established, and then we had the content that we had created, and then we were helping them deploy. But we stopped right away and said, well, first we have to acknowledge what's happening. We can't just go on with the planned message, buy this widget, get these. We can't. We have to acknowledge in a kind of an oblique way, right? Because we don't either want to focus on that if that's not their business, but acknowledge that things are different, that we're in a challenging time, that now more than ever, like we came up with all these phrases that sort of like hint to what we're all going through, but then we could pivot to the messaging. Some of the messaging, like we just dropped it. Like you're not going to be able to sell your purses right now. Let's just hold. Let's just talk about what people can do, how women can self-care to get through this time if that's your big audience base. So early on, we did a lot of that. I'll stop. Let's just, acknowledge, let's be there for each other, be there as a brand for your clients, your customers. You might even get new clients because of that. Now there's a little bit more, 6 months in, we can go back to kind of a little more business as usual, but still, I think it's a huge miss for anyone, even now, to just act like it never happened or act like it's over. Like you still have to somehow acknowledge it and then get to your message.
I think that's. Oh, I'm sorry, Kamal. I was just going to say, I think that's interesting, Hillary, because if you don't acknowledge it, you almost lack that authenticity that everyone's going through it. And then there is that whole piece of, it must have been hard for you having those conversations with some of those clients that like, they just, you can't sell your purses right now. You know what I mean? So like, that's huge, especially if they had a great business and the e-commerce store was like great or whatever. And all of a sudden it's like gone, like overnight, and people are now focused on something else. So, and plus a lot of people, I kept thinking, I think short term, right? And like, this will be gone in summer, or this will be gone in the fall, and they're trying to like get to this point. And I feel like that was a stress thing. Like it was the only way for them to sort of like handle the stress.
Right.
Was to just imagine
What
it
we
short
told
term.
ourselves to get through it. Exactly. Yeah. No, you're right though. You can't. It'll kill your business if you're tone deaf. It'll just kill it. Right. And some of those were very delicate conversations, Trisha. You're right. And in one case, we couldn't convince her to like not act like it wasn't happening. And in that case, we just let her go and do her own social media for a minute, and then we came back and fixed it. But you cannot be tone deaf right now. I don't think you can be as a brand ever if you want to be successful, but especially right now.
So are you finding that the social media messaging strategies right now are a little bit more short term, just simply because we don't know where we're going?
Yeah. Well, yes, we still like to plan 6 months and 9 months and 12 months out. And for those clients at 12 months out, right now we're planning the typical messaging, because it's always long-term strategy. It should be for social media. You should have 3 top goals, and you should have your strategy to get there. But we're giving ourselves the leeway right now to make changes in the moment, or to like, oh, tomorrow we had this plan, but this news just hit. It impacts your business sector. Let's just hold. Let's change it up and post 2 days from now instead. Right now we have to pivot a lot.
Yeah. So I'm assuming there's a lot of ongoing adjustments in those plans, simply because like, even especially in California, like we're still not as open as much of the United States is. And so I also assume that that's regional as well.
Yes, exactly. And especially we have some hospitality clients, restaurant sector clients, right? Huge hit. Ugh.
Them and the bars. It's just brutal.
Yes. That is just constantly reevaluating and helping clients strategize too. Even if we were just helping with a small piece of their business, is being a sounding board for, okay, so you're a restaurant, but you can't have indoor dining. And I know you hate catering, but right now let's like pivot to catering and pickup orders. And like, that's how some of them have saved their restaurants right now. Wasn't the first choice, right? But B plan, C plan, like sometimes that's what we're doing as a sounding board for them.
Yeah, I feel like the word pivot is going to be the word of the year, right? Like, what doesn't Time Magazine like pick a word? Like, it's going to be
Pivot.
It should be.
I know. And then so many people are like, I'm so over this pivoting. And you're like, all right, fine.
What everybody understands. I've enjoyed seeing some marketing campaigns for products that suddenly are, so for example, there's a seltzer drink, one of those alcoholic malt beverage seltzer drinks that has added vitamin C or something like that. And now I see all these ads everywhere about antioxidants. You need your health. And I'm like, it's a liquor drink. But they pivoted their marketing to make it seem healthier. You can drink your alcohol and fight COVID. I'm like, that's genius.
That is.
Oh, there's bleach in it too, by the way.
Right. And rat poison. But you're going to be fighting COVID. I mean, I just love it. Some of the spins and the ways people have approached this has been interesting to watch.
So we talked a lot about external challenges that are going on right now, but what about business challenges that you're facing yourself right now during COVID, and how have you found a solution internally?
Well, initially, probably like so many of my other women business owner sisters, and I alluded to this earlier on in our conversation, in March, like I did cost cutting right away. I did do some layoffs. I availed myself of the PPP loans and the EIDL, economic injury disaster loan, EIDL loans. I did that. So I tapped as many resources as I could right away, streamlined, changed up some of our internal processes, got back into some of the day-to-day managing myself too, just to like really wrap my hands around how can we run more efficiently? And that was all March and April. And now we're really kind of back on track in terms of that. My team has been virtual this whole time. Honestly, we were virtual before, and they came in just 2 of the 5 days a week to me physically. And they have company provided laptops, and they're working off site because we're in LA, and driving around in LA is mind bending. So like that was one of my benefits that I offer when I hire is you can work from home with a really slick, fast company provided laptop. You're welcome.
Slick and fast. I like that.
I love
Or
it.
graphics. They
Selling
have
it already. I like that. You sell
and a second monitor, by the way. They all have like a whole suite set up at home. Yeah. And so like we pivoted like that, and there's that word again, in terms of going virtual. So that was fortunate for me that was not a huge undertaking in my case. And I've helped a lot of other clients. We already had a 24/7 project management system. Our client files are already all in the cloud. And so I've also helped some clients make that change who weren't already there either, and demystify that. Because right now technology is our best friend in a virtual world. So I don't know if that answers your question, Camille.
Yeah, it does. And I think it's really interesting because since you were virtual before,
Yeah.
How do you keep your team motivated? Because I know, like, for example, my office was not virtual before and we are now. And so that was one of our big challenges.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's connection. It's really all about connection. So that is one of the things that I screen for when I'm hiring is, am I hiring an adult? Like, is this person self-driven? Can they, even if I'm not there watching, right? Can they like deliver and police himself or herself? Also, we use Asana, which is our project management system, which is really great. And they just log in and they like see what's there. And after they've been with me for about 6 months, I get a handle on their pace, right? Everybody's got their own like perfect pace. And so then I just am careful about how I put what at them. We also use Slack, which is an instant messaging tool. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but we've used that forever. And so that's just like, she's sitting right there sometimes when we're slacking. We Slack constantly, all the time. That's our conversation. And staying connected. Also weekly meetings, just like right now it's virtual. It used to be physical. We'd meet around the conference table and go over open projects, who's doing what are the challenges. So it's not the one single answer. It's a bunch of different ways that we stay connected. I also make sure to just check in. How are you doing? Like, it's 5:00, stop working, go be with your family. Like women are much more holistic minded, right? So I'm always checking in with the person to just about how she's doing normally, or I was always like that. Now I'm even more like that.
I love that. Very interesting. It's hard to touch someone when they're virtual, but I think if you work at it, you can create an environment and a culture outside of the in-person.
Yeah, you have to. Right now we have to. It's all we have. And then private video chats too, a lot. Yeah.
So I have to point out, I think Asana bought or is now associated with Trello.
Yeah, I've worked in Trello too. I don't know as much. Yeah.
Okay, I just point that out because Trisha and Camilla know that I'm.
Oh, we've all learned Trello now.
We all know Trello.
This big joke. And Trisha will be like, I sent an email, and Camilla will say, I sent a text, and I'll say, it's on Trello. But I think Asana may have. I think they're one.
Oh, great! Maybe there'll be a little bleed over in features. I also tried Trello. It was a little too task oriented for us because we'll have these huge like web development projects and like 30 different steps that need to be passed off to different team members. So that was easier to work with. But I do like the Trello little post-it kind of.
Yeah, I'm a list maker.
Don't even get Susan started on this. Yeah. Me and Camille know more about Trello than we. I'm into it now. I'm converted. She's got it. Like,
I should get commission from Trello. I'm like, you've got so many people signing up for it.
You really should.
There you go.
They should sponsor this program, this podcast.
Hey, Trello, did you hear that?
I like how Hillary's we're not even her clients, and she's trying to sell this for us.
I'm marketing for you, my friends.
Thank you.
Can't help myself.
I know. Well, can you tell us, like, first of all, it's Lentini Design, right? So LENTINI design.com. But how else can they get in contact with you?
That's the best, because then they'll get a really good feeling for what we do and the types of clients and projects that we work on. We are on 6 different social media channels. They can get a little sense of us from there too. And we have all the logical handles at Lentini, I think is the handle on almost all of them. But the website's a better step. They can also email us at info@lentinidesign.com. And I will personally get back to them.
Oh,
Oh,
I love that.
And I'll let you know, because it came from you guys.
That sounds good. That sounds good. So, Susan, you want to do the showdown, or you want me to go?
Sure. Well, I can introduce it. Camille can run through the topic options, right?
Yeah,
So we like to have, when we have a guest on, Hillary, we have this fun little event that we do called the 3B Showdown, where we will give you a topic and we will provide you with 3 answers to choose from. And you pick the right answer, because that's going to be my answer. That's the right answer. You pick one of the 3 answers, and we're keeping points. And the first one of the 3 of us to get to 10 points gets to make the others do a podcast wearing something fun, like a cheesehead hat.
Who's
Cowboy hat.
Who's got what points? Do you know?
I think
I
have
two.
2.
I have 1 point, I think.
Oh,
Really? Only 1? I thought you had more than that.
No, I think we'll have to go back and check the
Sure,
date.
you have 2. We gotta get this figured out, ladies. We were so great about putting the contest together, then forgot to decide who should be keeping track. We should put it up on Trello.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm going to make a Trello board right now.
I know you are.
Okay,
It's already done. She's done. She did it.
okay. So, Hillary, today the topic is food types, and you can choose from Mexican food, Japanese food, or Thai food as your favorite of the 3.
Well, I know my favorite, but I'm supposed to pick Susan's favorite, right?
No,
No,
you pick your favorite.
I pick my favorite. My
Yeah.
Mexican, hands down.
Oh, jeez.
I'm in LA.
California.
I knew that this was a scam. It's totally, Camille keeps getting all the Callies. I
was going to go with Italian, because then I knew Hillary would know, because
I totally would have
Oh,
gone
yeah.
with that.
And I was like, I should go Italian, but then I thought, but she moved to California, so
Right? So
dinner with
sushi.
sushi.
The
I did
funny
Thai.
thing is, I thought that Susan would pick Italian and Trisha would pick barbecue.
I know, Trisha. What happened to your?
This is the thing. They want me to be a gun-toting, barbecue eating Texan, and they won't
I'm
like
a gun
get away
toter.
from that.
I'm a barbecue eater.
So whose was what? Trisha, yours was what? Japanese?
I was Thai food. I wanted
Thai,
the
and I
I wanted the sushi, but she
I
picked
was
it before me.
sushi/Japanese, but
I feel like I brought Hillary on, the California guest, so it's just a scam that Camille won this one again. Another Californian to Camille. Next time.
What can I say? We're tied out here, LA girls.
Yeah, we got to stick together.
Well, this was super great, Hillary. Thanks for coming on with us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you both. Oh, both. Thank you, all 3 of you.
Thank you for joining us on today's podcast of 3Bs on the Law. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast. We also welcome any comments. If you'd like to get in touch with us or suggest a future topic, you can email us at 3THREEBsonthelaw@gmail.com. And because we're lawyers, we need to remind you that this podcast is not meant to provide you with legal advice and does not create an attorney-client relationship. Thank you again for joining us, and have a great day.